With you on training for the Inkway USA distributorship. Whether you're an elite distributor or a founder, we're going to show you how to grow your business today. I could not be much more excited about the opportunity to work with each and every one of you in a business that has so much upside. How do we provide that? Well, we do a lot of different things. We're bringing you all sorts of different opportunities. This is a massively growing industry. In the next 3.5 years, it's going to almost double in size. In the next 5, it will more than double in size. It's a $70 billion market right now. There's 30 cartridges sold every second. 3.5 years from now, that will be 60 cartridges sold every second. So we're talking about toner, we're talking about ink, we're talking about all sorts of things that you will have the ability to resell as a distributor for Inkway USA. Whether you're a founder or an elite distributor, either way, you get a web store that is a replicated model of the inkonline.net store. You can push that out there. You get 10% return on any sales that come in through the web store ongoingly. We have price competitiveness here. And I will tell you, as long as you're comparing apples to apples and you're making sure your customers do the same, we can usually beat people's prices by 50%, even sometimes 75% less when they do their own refills. You know, again, you have a reason to build a business because it's your business. You are the cause that people believe in. When people hear that someone started a new business, oftentimes their first reaction is, how can I help? Especially when they're a friend of yours or somebody you work with otherwise. What can I do to help you? Well, you can buy ink from me and you can talk to other people about, do they know how much they're spending on their ink, even when they go to the cost-cutting retail stores. Okay, it's a great question to open up with. Also, you know, do you understand how many cartridges end up in landfills every single year? It's enough if you lined them up end to end that it would go around the earth 3 times. Okay, that's crazy. That's a lot of plastic ending up in the landfill that does not need to be there. Now, we also give you a way to earn money 5 to 9 different ways. As an elite distributor, you've got 5 different ways. As a founder, you have 9. We go over all these other pieces, the support, the marketing materials, all that kind of thing in our Wednesday night webinar. I'm going to get much further into detail on how to market your company as we move forward. But let's talk about what can Inkway do for you. Well, $400 a month is about the amount needed for an average American family. Most people that I talk to that are jumping into Inkway are jumping in because they need a couple hundred extra dollars a month. It's not because they need a $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month or even $2,000 a month. Most of these people need 200, 300, 100, 500, 400, somewhere in there. And if you're looking at it, CNN has a piece out that shows that $400 per month is the amount needed for the average American family right now. That's about how much more month than they have money that's going on. So they need an extra $400 to cover. If you're in that space, we want to lend a hand putting that money back in your pocket. Maybe that'll show you how to create more than that per month. We're going to show you how you do that as you build this out into a business that you can be really, really proud of. And again, we're going to cover a lot about marketing it. Now, right now, people are kind of mad in general. It's a sad state of affairs that way, but there's a lot of division and anger and a lot of people that are just generally upset. And when they find out they're spending $9,000 a gallon, they get kind of even more upset, I found. You know, they feel like they're getting ripped off, and they are. And so when you can show them that our cost on ink is about 8 cents a milliliter if they do their own refills, and theirs is at least $2 a milliliter, depending on the manufacturer, depending on the size of the cartridge, depending on how much that cartridge will actually still hold. It can be as high as $5 a milliliter in some cases. But we say 2, we take the low end, we take the high road. And, you know, when you're comparing it at 8 cents a milliliter to $2 a milliliter, that's more than a 25% or 25 times increase. Okay? That's kind of crazy. That's kind of nuts. You're looking at about, exactly, it is 25 times increase. Would you pay 25 times more for something when you don't have to? It's another way to ask the question about why would you not consider buying from me your Inkway, Inkman, or Inkwoman? Is to say, we charge 25 times less when you do your own refills. Plus, you get to save the planet. You get to go green. Why going green matters? Well, I talked about this a little bit in the opening here. 30 cartridges are sold per second. It will be 60 inkjet and toner cartridges sold per second by 2020. It is already a huge landfill issue. It is becoming a bigger one, obviously by double fold in the next 3.5 years. More and more and more, the people that run offices, the office management side of things, are either millennials or they're Gen Xers. One thing that Gen Xers and millennials have in common is they actually care about what their carbon footprint looks like. They want to find things that are eco-alternatives. They want to be able to be a part of a movement that helps mitigate those problems, helps lessen those problems. You are the eco-alternative here, and you can teach them how to refill, reuse, and recycle. You can come in and be the person who does refill, reuse, recycle for them. I've told this story in a couple different trainings. I'm going to tell you one story and I'm going to tell you another. These are both anecdotal type of things that have happened to me directly. I can tell you, because I've been out in the field and actually working this business alongside the business that I run as well. And it's really married in very nicely. So I stopped in an office where it said the company on paper, when I looked them up the day before I went in, it said they had somewhere around 47 employees. Well, I went in and I'm looking at the office space kind of behind the receptionist, and I'm thinking there's no way 47 people fit back here. Heck, be lucky to get 30 people back here. But I got a moment or two with the office manager, who was a millennial, who was very, very nice, and he's young, very, very together, listened to what I had to say, and then said, well, we lease our printers, so we get our toner with them. We have 1 or 2 inkjet printers here in the office, but they also usually bring us cartridges for those, just because that's the way they work. And I said, okay, that's great. I said, so I said you have 47 people in your listing. Have you downsized, or where does everybody work from? And she said, well, we have 17 salespeople who work from home. I am really, really, really looking forward to being able to talk to them as far as I said to them, I'd really like to be able to talk to them about their ink consumption and how they are, going to possibly be able to use the link I could give you to my web store. So I gave her the link to my web store. I gave her a little quick snippet that I emailed to her. And sure enough, she sent it out to their 17 salespeople. And so far, I've heard from 7 of them. That's not bad. That's almost 50% of them have written me and wanted to know more. A couple of them I've turned on to these refillable, reusable cartridges we have because their printers will accept them. And then they're buying those in a bottle pack. Well, guess what? They're going to buy bottle packs ongoingly once they have these refillable, reusable cartridges. Now, the refillable, reusable cartridges will last for years and years. Lenny's had his for 5 or 6 years. I've had mine for a while now, too. But the point being is they'll continue to order the inkjet bottle packs again and again and again because it is the easiest way to refill these. And it's high-quality ink. And they already know that because they'll have been through a bottle pack at that point. So there's all sorts of possibilities there for where this can all head and run. And, in that case, it was a really good conversation, and it was really simple. Now, another example of that, I went into a company that I was actually doing some other cost savings analysis for. We were talking, and she mentioned that they have a very large overseas department over in, I think it was in the UAE. I think it's in Dubai, if I remember correctly. But they were having trouble getting reasonable priced ink to in their local area there. So she wanted to talk about the possibilities of sending over some of these inkjet refill stations and just shipping them out, having them shipped to her, and then she'd ship them from her place out to their Dubai office. So that's what we did. And so she's got 10 of these inkjet refill stations going over. They're going to see how it works, and if it works well, then they're going to start ordering more of them. Again, it was a simple conversation that started it all. It was what troubles are you having within your office? Where are your biggest breakdowns on cost? Those kind of things. And the next thing I know, she's talking about, well, we've got this office in Dubai. We can't get office supplies there for reasonable prices a lot of the times. I said, does office supplies include ink? Yes. Okay, so you move from there. Again, when you're out working this business, you just need to be looking to solve solutions. And we do have a solution for every printer. So you can always get at least OEM cartridges off of your website for your customers. They're going to be 15–10% less than what you're going to buy in most other places. And you're going to get that high quality ink. Usually if something's less expensive than what we are, and there are things that are listed out there as less expensive than we are, but they're not the same quality of ink at all. So it doesn't matter if it's an inkjet printer. It doesn't matter if it's a laser printer and uses toner. It doesn't matter if it's an old printer, a new printer. It doesn't really matter much at all. We can find a way to match prices and make things better for each one of these people moving forward. So again, high quality ink, brilliant colors, crisp, clean, clear, long lasting. They're awesome. That picture that's on the screen there is something we printed out using our ink on a pretty standard printer. So awesome stuff. Again, I mentioned this earlier. You have a huge marketplace in front of you. I want you to think about this for a second. The American average is 2 printers in every home, 7 in every office. Pretty much everyone uses ink. It doesn't really matter which side of things they fall on here. If they're school kids, parents, seniors, grandparents, teachers, hobbyists, photographers, that's sort of the personal side of things. And you know tons of these types of people. All you really need to do is start showing them, the idea of, hey, where do you buy your ink? Do you know how much most people are paying per gallon of ink? Well, you would be right now. Oh, it's not kind of expensive when I can get it for you for this much less if you're going to do your own refills, or this much less if you're going to do OEM cartridges, on and on and on. Or if you want me to come refill for you, nobody likes getting ripped off. So they often want to change that. I've got friends of mine that have been buying inkjet refill stations through me because they wanted to be able to do their own. One of them wanted to get their child involved and get him out doing Saturday refills in their local coffee shop. And he's actually doing pretty well. He's putting $60 a week in his pocket, his son is, for going out and working for 4 hours on a Saturday. And he makes $60 in profit after he pays his dad back for the cost of the kit, the cost of the refill station. So his dad's not making money, but his dad's not having to give him money every week either. So he takes $60 and he puts 30 of it in his pocket, in his wallet, and 30 of it in the bank. And so again, it's a great opportunity that way, not just for the parent, but for the child in this case, to go out and sell. Now, let's talk about other places you can look. On the business side of things, attorneys, realtors, doctors' offices, appraisers, mortgage brokers. You've got businesses, whether they're large or small. Yeah, okay, a lot of them are going to lease their equipment, and they're going to get the toner as part of the lease, or they're going to get the ink as part of the lease. Guess what? Again, just because you hear no a few times doesn't mean you should quit. It doesn't mean you should walk away. It doesn't mean you should say, oh, well, this is never going to work. Because I'll tell you right now, the deals that I've been putting together for folks are in businesses large and small. They're in folks that are nonprofits. They're one city school district that I'm talking to right now about how we would work with them. Churches, when you get to the nonprofits and the churches, you can also do a fundraiser. Now, let me describe that for a few minutes here and take a couple minutes out and talk about the fundraising side of things. If you do a fundraiser, it could be an athletic team, it could be a church, it could be a nonprofit. What you do is you go in and you refill for $25 a cartridge. Now, granted, that's pretty close to retail price, But when you're doing a fundraiser, most people don't mind. And then you take the difference between where you want to be, and you probably want to be making $12 to $15 a cartridge on your refills, and you give the extra $10 or $12 to the nonprofit. The way I did it with my friend's baseball team is we went in, he became a founder, he bought 5 founding units, and he got 20 inkjet refill stations. He's already used a bunch of them just on the base, 6 of them through the baseball team and the baseball league, that he put together a fundraiser for the league. He didn't actually just do it for just his team. He did it for the whole league so they could buy equipment that could be stored at the fields and be able to be used by all teams, which was pretty darn cool, I gotta say. And it worked really well. People came out. Well, here's what he didn't expect. He did that fundraiser. Now he's got people coming back to him saying, hey, I need ink. Hey, could we get together so you can refill my cartridges? Hey, go da-da-da. So he's got his son learning how to refill cartridges in that case as well, so that they can work together. They can help. He can teach his son some entrepreneurial things, and they can grow a business together. The next piece he's taking it to is his church. His church, he's going to turn around and he's going to give a deal where it's $15 to refill your cartridges, and then over top of that, you give to the church how much you want to give as a part of them bringing this to you. So we'll see how that goes. That's a couple weeks away. But he's hoping to go through his other 14 ink refill stations to make back his money on his original investment into the company. His original buy-in as 5 founding units was $5,000. That's a pretty substantial in. But at the same time, he's turning around and he's going to make, by the time it's all said and done, probably in the neighborhood of about $1,000 per every 4 of those. So 5 times, it's going to make about a $5,000 profit over top of his initial actual investment. And he's going to help out a lot of other people in the fundraising world. So those are some pretty cool ideas about how you can leverage Inkway into being a fundraiser, into being something well beyond what it might normally just be. And again, like he said, I can't believe out of the baseball team thing how many people have become actual customers. Either they're going to my web store and they're buying stuff, or they're calling me because they want refills, or a couple of them even wanted to buy an inkjet refill station. So a couple of the dads, he actually showed the whole opportunity of Inkway to, and 2 of them are looking at it for their wives who are both stay-at-home moms who have time to actually do this during the day, and they can talk to their peers and their friends and get things running. If it's a few extra $100 a month, it makes a huge difference. So again, really, really cool stuff to pay attention to. We've talked a lot about this piece here and the differences between founder and distributor. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this other than to say, when you're out doing what you need to do with the business, the most important 2 pieces are bonus number 2 if you're a founder, and bonus number 7, because this is how you repay yourself at the $750 per refill station. That's $3,000 worth of profit sitting there waiting to happen. You're going to pay $1,000 for your founder unit. This is the way to put $2,000 in actual net profit back in your pocket and go through those 4 refill stations. Again, we want you to get out and work the business. If you get out and work the business and you refill for others, you're either going to continue refilling for others, they're going to ask you how they can do this themselves, or they're going to want to be able to purchase, inkjet refill stations, or inkjet bottle packs and refillable reusable cartridges, or possibly even just OEM cartridges, but they're going to do that off your website. Every time that you do something that sells externally, you push your web store, you do refills for others, even if you bring people in who become a part of the company in either this way or this way, what happens is this, as a founder, increases. And whenever we sell inkjet refill stations, this increases for everyone, whether you're a distributor or a founder. Okay, stop and think about that for just a second. In order to make these work, right here and here and here, what needs to happen? We need to have sales coming in. We need to have people out working the setup and actually doing business so that we have money coming in so we can pay you out on bonuses 3, 4, and 8 twice a year. Okay, enough said about that. Now, something that's pretty cool to think about here is that if you get 8 people who sign up and stay on as elite distributors throughout the year, just in referral bonuses, your monthly business expenses are pretty much covered as a distributor. I talk about this a lot more on Wednesday night, but think about that for a second. That's just 8 referrals and over probably a 6-month period, and you can pay for the cost of your operations of your business ongoingly. And even as an elite distributor or as a founder, either way, you're going to get 2 inkjet refill stations within that year for paying your monthly fees. So you get another opportunity to make $450, $750, however you want to look at it, dollars. That's at least another $900, really more like another $1,500 sitting there if you've already paid for it. So again, a matter of going out and working the business, a matter of going out and talking to other people about refilling for them. If you find 5 people to refill for each week, you can usually get at least 1 referral from them to refer to friends of theirs. And then from there, I tell people, when you're sitting refilling for people, my son will sometimes go with me on a Saturday and sit down at a local sandwich shop or coffee shop, and he talks to them about not just this business, but that he not only helps me run this, but he also has his own film studio, and he does all these other things. And suddenly people are like, hey, wow, my daughter's getting married. Could you come film that? I mean, what it's built networking-wise sitting in that coffee shop, not only do we get more people to refill for, we get more people buying from our actual company store, our replicated store online, but it's actually led to 2 leads for him to go cover weddings for another business outside of this entirely. Again, all it really takes is the interaction with people, taking time to talk about your new business, your Inkway business, in a helpful and not salesy manner. Now, this is kind of important too. You don't want to hard sell people. Hey, look what I have. I can lower your price on ink. If you start that way and you don't let the conversation develop, you're probably going to turn off a lot of people. If you say to people, hey, where is it you buy your inkjet cartridges? Oh, you have a laser printer? Oh, so where do you buy your drums of toner? Oh, you buy them at one of the office supply stores. Okay. Well, so with that, how much are you paying for those? Hey, can we take a look on my website and see if I can save you any money? Much easier then, because now they've started a conversation with you, and yeah, you're offering to help them, but you're not offering to sell to them yet. You're saying, let's check this. Let's see what it is. Then you let them make the decision once you show them you can save them money. And again, 5 people you refill for each week, or 5 people you send to your web store each week, a couple people you refer to the Wednesday night webinar, and suddenly you've got income coming in each week, and income coming in that becomes residual over time. So let's talk about this. I want to run through the numbers for people. How much do you need a month? Well, a lot of the people I'm talking to, you can throw into chat right now if you want to and tell me what it would mean, what kind of numbers you would like to make each month. And I can work towards those numbers for you. But let's give the examples of the $200 to $500 range. So a lot of people that are out there are saying they need between $200 and $500 extra each month, and that would set them really well. They'd be able to either afford their current bills, they'd be able to pay down credit cards, they'd be able to send their kids to camp, they'd be able to do all sorts of other things that they might not have been able to do otherwise. But here's how that happens. So if you refer 5 people at $40, you're going to get $200 that month, and 6 months from now you're going to get another $200 as long as they're all still active. If you refer 5 people and refill 5 printers, so 20 cartridges, that's at least another $250 for a total of $450 in a month. If you refer 5, refill 5, and sell $500 off your web store, that's another $50 in commissions, so a total of $500. Again, the refer 5 and the sell 500 will end up repeating at some point as residual business. The refill 5, you may end up finding that you refill for one person one time and never again, but most of the people you refill, you'll refill for again, and most of the people you refill for, as you get to know them, will, guess what, give you referrals, especially if you ask for them. So if you look at it this way, you've got the residuals that are available, the referrals that are available, and then you get your share as the biannual elite bonus pool as a elite distributor. If you're a founder, you also get to share in the profit pools for founders. So why is business in so important to you, especially as a founder, if you're a founder? It's because the way we build these pools is off profit. So if business isn't coming in, if you as a founder aren't ordering your own ink through Inkway, if you as a founder aren't pushing to bring in new business, there's not going to be nearly as much in these pools as there could be. So founders share in 20% of company profits. That's 20% of Inkway profits, which is the division you work for, and 20% of AccuBrite profits, which is the division that is the wholesale division for the company. So catalog sales and other things like that is what builds into there. Now, did Lenny need to do that when he built this comp plan out? No, he sure as heck didn't. But you look at the way this thing works, obviously the best positions to be in are here, here, or here, because you're sharing a lot less each time. So founders that have put in $2,000 and picked up 2 units will share in pools A and B. Founders with 5 units will share in pool C. And pool D goes to the purchasing founder with the most units. They do not share in pool C, B, or A, but they get all of pool D, which is a pretty sweet deal. And then you get all the matching bonuses as well. So again, very important to think about when you start looking at what this can mean on down the line, but it means you've got to be bringing in business. Now, here's a screen that I'm going to suggest you hit print screen on, because there's 3 links up here. One is for opportunity launch, which is a way for you to create landing pages and capture pages. Mark Brewer is the guy that runs it. Other than knowing Mark and having used his platform to build landing pages and be able to show our company video that way, we don't have any other ties to him other than that. But if you go in and you sign up under that link, then what you'll have there is your own back office where you can do landing pages and capture pages. There's no charge for the basic stuff that he does. He does have a few charges for more advanced stuff, but you don't have to take part in any of that. And quite frankly, you probably won't need to. What you want to use him for there is the actual no cost to you landing pages, capture pages, and be able to show your Inkway business and collect the information of the people who see it. That's all really important. Now, if you want to share videos, you can go in and you can pick up these 2 videos. One of them is for folks who are who want to be an elite distributor. It pitches to them. And the other one is for folks who want to be a customer. We don't have one built for founders at this point. We really didn't see the need, because we know if you're already a founder, you can talk to other people about the advantages of being a founder and make things move from there. Now, I'm going to spend a little bit of time here. Not a lot, because we're already at 28 minutes into the presentation, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. But talking about LinkedIn training and social media training. One of the things that is really absolutely key is talking about your business in a consistent fashion. You can do that through a Facebook company fan page. You can do that on Twitter. You can do that on LinkedIn. You can do that a lot of different places in a lot of different ways. It really depends on where your best audience is going to be found. I work with LinkedIn a lot personally because I do a lot of other business through LinkedIn. Now, one thing again, you don't want to be salesy on any of these other than maybe Twitter and maybe Facebook. And you can use Instagram and other places like that to post pictures of the inkjet refill stations or of you out refilling for others on a Saturday. Those types of things are all very acceptable and not really considered salesy in that world. But within LinkedIn, for instance, if you go in and you start pitching in groups that you're tied to from your profile on LinkedIn, hey, I'm your local ink man and ink woman, I can get you ink at 50 to 75% off, blah, 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 blah. You are either going to get banned from those groups really fast, or you're going to end up upsetting people in the group enough that they just won't pay attention to you. You might not get kicked out, but nobody will pay attention to you. The way to do it is to post articles about the cost of ink, or post articles about the impact of cartridges going into the landfill, or post articles about any number of other pieces that are of relevancy to folks that are, I mean, I belong to one group on LinkedIn that's an office manager group. And I talk to them about mitigating risk and controlling cost a lot. Occasionally, I'll throw in an article about ink. These are not articles you have to build. They're not articles you have to write. They're pretty simple and straightforward in general. So, as far as it's all concerned, I feel very strongly that each one of you has an opportunity here to go out and talk about what you do with other people, whether it's face-to-face, whether it's walking into an office park with your inkjet refill station in your hand and literally walking around and offering to refill for folks, getting to know them, talking to them face-to-face. There is nothing that beats that. The nice part is, though, then from there you can use emails, you can use LinkedIn training, you can use LinkedIn, you can use LinkedIn, you can use social media. You know, obviously you might want a little bit of training on both of those, but you can go in and you can make a tweet. You can use something like Hootsuite or something along those lines that actually pulls together all your social media channels. And when you send one post, it goes to everything. The only risk of that is there's different messages you might want to put out on different channels. But when you're being educational, when you're showing them information, when you're saying, hey, most ink costs $2 a milliliter, I can show you how to get your cost down to 8 cents a milliliter, that's safe for just about everywhere but maybe LinkedIn. Okay, so again, different messages for different mediums, different messages for different forums and different audiences. If you're on LinkedIn, keep it very educational. Let people put their hand up for you and say, so, you're talking about ink, you know, what way do you help control that cost? How can you help us out? I just had a company ask me that a couple weeks ago in the office manager realm. We're still talking. We've got a lot of possibilities for what we can do to help them out. Ink is just one of them. This is an office manager for a car dealership that has 8 rooftops. They print in a ridiculous amount of loan applications and all sorts of other things. And surprisingly, they own their printers. They don't lease them. So they need to buy their toner and in some cases their ink from other sources. So again, it all started on a conversation that came off of a LinkedIn piece that was about cost containment in general. It wasn't even really about ink. It was about cost containment in general, but ink has now worked its way into the conversation. Again, you have to go out and work the business and talk about it. Now, a lot of people are, oh, this sounds great, but I mean, God, I have to work. Well, yeah, you do. And any other job you pick up ever, anywhere, you're going to have to work. You're not going to get paid to just sit and do nothing. Even if you're sitting in a booth at a parking place and collecting fares as people go in and out, and you can read and listen to music and everything else like that, you're going to make minimum wage, and that's it. And you're going to be out in the booth and all sorts of hot and cold weather and everything else. So you've got to kind of make the best of that. It's not a terrible job to have, but compared to other jobs that you can get, you're going to make $8-12 an hour at one of those jobs. You're going to make $30 to $50 an hour here if you go out and do it right. It may take a little bit of ramp up time until you're up to those numbers, but when I do refills for others, I easily make $50 an hour for the time I'm sitting in that coffee shop. If I add in the hour that it takes me to promote that each week, beforehand, I might be making $40 an hour, $46 an hour, $45 an hour, something like that. But again, it doesn't take a lot of time. You also get to work your own hours. So if you want to work on a Thursday night from 9 until midnight, you can. If you want to work on a Tuesday morning from 6 until 8 before the kids leave for school, you can. If you want to build something out that you work on Saturday and Sunday when you're off from your Monday through Friday job, and you want to work 1 or 2 weekends a month, you can do that too. Again, you set your own hours. Now, compared to the cost of a franchise or a license agreement with people, this is so easy to make a profit at compared to those. Because with those, you have a huge upfront cost and you have ongoing costs. I have a friend of mine that just bought a franchise, $25,000 upfront to buy the franchise. Now, every month he had to pay to build out. He had almost $70,000 in build out costs for a strip mall place. He pays, I believe, $1,300 a month in his lease and his other bills like his electric and things like that. And he has to pay 7% back in profit to the company for them to do marketing for him. As far as giving him marketing materials, they're not even placing the ads. They're just giving him things that he can go place on top of it all, and that costs him 7% a month. Think about what you have here. What does it cost you per month here? $49.99. What do you get? Well, you get the support, you get the marketing, you get the webinars, you get all the pieces that you really need to be able to move yourself forward. And then on top of that, every 6 months, you get a new inkjet refill station that is equivalent to the wholesale price of that $49.99 times 6. I don't know how it can get better than that for you as a way to go out and make money, as a way to earn money each month. I have one sales rep who doesn't really even come to these Thursday things anymore because she took a bunch of the ideas and ran with them. And she's going through an inkjet refill station a month right now, ordering a new one each month. And she's working on setting up some things where she could do fundraisers. Well, she'll need to order 10 and 15 of them in a month in order to be able to get through those fundraisers. But she'll make really, really good profit. And she started it as a stay-at-home mom and really didn't expect to get the kind of return that she's been getting. But the more people she talks to, the more she realizes she can help. The more they realize she can help, the more they refer her to other friends. Suddenly she said, I've got a 20-hour-a-week business kicking that I didn't expect to have kicking like this. So she's having another friend jump in and help her with the business. And again, she signed up as an elite distributor. She didn't even look at foundership until she started doing well with the company. And then she said, hey, I want access to those bonus pools. And she's upgraded to being a founder now. She bought $2,000 worth of founder units. So she's into pools A and B now. And she's excited. And she may very well bump up 3 more units when she can afford it. But again, that's what happens when you get out and you get working on this business and you find the success that other people have had. Can I guarantee you're going to have success? No, I can't. But can I tell you the things that are working for other people? And that's what we're here on Thursday afternoon doing, is showing you what's worked for other folks, showing you how they are growing their businesses. Well, how do they do that? Well, they get motivated. They start asking, where do you buy your ink? And do you know how much ink costs most of us per gallon? They start talking about advertising your website, about ability to refill, about leveraging marketing tools and resources to help yourself. And then they get people to come to the Wednesday night webinar so they can see what we're doing. They can understand how that happens. They can see why that works. And they get their people that jump in on Wednesday night to start coming to the Thursday training sessions, which I hope these are helpful for you, because quite frankly, they're a lot of fun for me to run because I get to share what's working with you. I get to share ideas with you, knowledge with you, other pieces with you that will help you grow your business. So if you're here, you're probably already an elite distributor. You may already be a founder. I will make the pitch now that we do have more founder units available at the moment. So if you're an elite distributor and you want to upgrade, it will be a great time to do it. CEO at inkwayusa.com. CEO at inkwayusa.com. If you're currently a founder and you own a half a unit or a whole unit and you want to upgrade so that you can get to where you have 2 full units so you can get into pools A and B, it's another consideration, especially as you start to see success. think about taking some of the money while we have the founder units available and funneling it back in so that you can actually, because quite frankly, what we want and what we need are founders who are out working the business. People who are treating this as if it's a business, not as if it's a hobby or not as if it's a forgotten thought. And I'm excited that we have people here today that seem to want to do that seem to want to take the time to learn what they can do and how they can do it. We're going to keep expanding this training session and trying to give you more and more and more information as there's more and more and more people here. So talk to the people you know who are founders. If you've brought anybody in who's a founder or an elite distributor that aren't coming to these, please see if you can get them to come on in. That email goes out to everybody that either holds an elite distributorship or a foundership within the company. But take the time, talk to other people, get them to come to these events. If get new people to come in Wednesday night, get current people to come in that are already elite distributors or activated founders, get them to come in on Thursdays. It will benefit you in the fact that the company will grow and those pools will get larger and larger and larger. Even if it doesn't directly benefit you, because they may or may not be tied to you, directly in the overall hierarchy of things. Again, my name is Andy the Inkster Grider. I really appreciate you all taking the time out today. It's 40 minutes of your afternoon, and I appreciate you spending it with us. If you have any questions, you're welcome to hit me in the public chat or the private chat, either way. Looks like I got a private chat message coming in here. How many founder units are available? I don't actually know the total number of how many founder units are available. I know that if you're interested in purchasing founder units, then email Lenny at ceo@inkwayusa.com, and he'll be able to talk to you about how many are available. I actually don't know the number. I know there's more than a few. It will be a large handful of founder units that are available at this point. But they are, almost every week there's ones that go out the door, and sometimes many that go out the door in 1 week. So I don't know how many he has left at this point, but thank you for asking. And honestly, ask him, ceo@inkwayusa.com. Anybody else? Oh, great question here. Within LinkedIn, what are the best groups to target? Well, think about that for just a second. Who do you want to try to sell to? I just said earlier, large companies usually lease their equipment and have their toner as part of the package. So where would you want to start? Smaller companies, entrepreneurial groups, small business groups, office manager groups. Sometimes you want to look at sales groups, because a lot of those folks are 1099, especially if you can find a 1099 sales group in LinkedIn. Those are all really worth your while. Hopefully that's helped. Yes, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, any other questions? Okay, well, we're going to go and wrap things up here on Thursday afternoon. Again, Andy the Inkster Grider signing off for Inkway USA's Thursday training webinar. Thank you all very much for coming out, and looking forward to having you grow your business over the next week.